Hi, my name is Amber Covington, Executive Director for the Greater Memphis Workforce Development Board, where the Greater Memphis Chamber serves as the fiscal agent. This is our regional action plan for Greater Memphis that I'm going to present on today. First, let's talk about Greater Memphis at a glance. Greater Memphis is an MSA of almost 1.4 million individuals located in 11 counties and 3 states, which consist of Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. Memphis is the economic hub of a 7-state region, which includes almost 5 million people. And then for every 150 miles in every direction, Memphis is the largest metropolitan area. Memphis is known for moving innovation forward. We connect you to the world like no other place. With an unmatched logistics infrastructure, Memphis makes it possible for companies to deliver innovation anywhere around the globe. 95% of the world's gross domestic product is within 72 hours. 75% of the United States population is within a 2-day drive. And we are the number one busiest cargo airport in the Western Hemisphere, with 450 plus daily arrivals and departures to global destinations. We're actually the number 2 busiest cargo airport in the world. And now you're wondering, why Memphis? First, for our location plus infrastructure, we are the heart of North America. As mentioned before, 75% of the United States population can be accessed within a 2-day drive. But also, as I mentioned before, we are the number one busiest cargo airport in the Western Hemisphere. We have 5 Class 1 railroads in Memphis. Also, we are the third busiest trucking corridor in the U.S. and then the second busiest port on the Mississippi River. So we are known for our river, rails, roads, and runways. But also in addition, we're known for our workforce plus talent. We have diverse human capital. We are the largest city within a 150-mile radius, and we are the center of many major universities across the region. But also too, we have over 400,000 individuals in the workforce in the Shelby County area. And finally, quality of life. Here in the Memphis area, you can live, work, and play. There are unparalleled options ranging from a very vibrant downtown with river views, but also quaint suburbs and also rural communities with lots of wide open spaces. But what also makes Memphis attractive is we have 9 months of patio weather, and then we are the 6th shortest metro commute time in the US. And of course, everyone talks about our low cost of living. We have a very low cost of living compared to other areas across the nation. We are well below the national average. In the greater Memphis area, we have 4 priority sectors that we're focusing on that we're going to see a lot of growth over the next few years. Right now, advanced manufacturing is where you see 90% of our new businesses coming into the region. Transportation and warehousing and healthcare are our 2 largest industries, which are projected to grow by 2030. But also to the creative economy, we're looking at 60% rapid growth by 2030. And the creative economy consists of the arts and culture, entertainment, music. So that particular industry is fast growing in the greater Memphis area. But as we focus on our priority sectors, we do have to do an analysis of the region. And right now, the region, it has its challenges. Currently, we have a 4.7% unemployment rate, which is higher than our state average. As well, we have a 53.4% labor force participation rate, which for us could be higher too. It's a little bit lower than what we're seeing across the state. Um, Youth unemployment, it decreased to 13.8% in 2021, but continues to remain higher than the rest of the state of Tennessee. And then in West Tennessee in general, we're seeing that 28% of the West Tennessee population lives below the poverty rate. And then we have a lot of open jobs here. For every 100 jobs that are open, there are only 56 available workers. So there's work we have to do in Greater Memphis to increase our labor force participation rate. Post-secondary educational attainment, Greater Memphis, we have a 61% rate, which is above the state average, but there are still significant disparities in post-high school educational attainment based on race or ethnicity. And this pattern is seen across the entire state of Tennessee, but here in Memphis, we see some significant challenges as far as disparities based upon race and ethnicity. But before I go into the strategic pillars, I do want to talk a little bit more about the problem that we're having here in the Memphis area. Memphis itself, we are the mecca of the civil rights movement, home of the blues, the birthplace of rock and roll, and also we're a huge logistics hub, home of and headquarters of FedEx. But even though we are very significant in those ways, Memphis is the largest disenfranchised and economically distressed urban community in Tennessee. And what we're seeing here in the greater Memphis area is that we're seeing a very high juvenile crime rate, and that's something we want to be able to address um, through the greater Memphis region. And that's one of the reasons that we're going to focus on these strategic pillars. So our strategic pillars consist of advancing worker equity by removing barriers. So we want to be able to remove barriers from youth, but also talent innovation plus pipeline development. So there are ways we want to be able to collaborate with other partners to increase certifications and credentialing for young people in partnership with employers, and also preparing future skilled workers. It goes back to partnerships with employers where we will be able to offer work experiences to our young people. And you're wondering, well, how are we going to do this? So here recently, we have developed a program model called Greater Empowerment Pathways. And under Greater Empowerment Pathways, our target population will be just as involved youth ages 16 to 19 in the Shelby County area. These young people will be without a post-secondary credential, low income, and individuals just currently not in the labor force. But we can't target this population without having the appropriate partnerships in place. So through this Pathways program, which we were recently awarded $100,000 for, to kick this off, we will partner with Memphis and Shelby County Juvenile Court, the American Job Center, Olympic Career Training Institute, and the Christopher A. Pew Center. With Juvenile Court, we will work with their youth and get them connected to the Job Center services and also training through Olympic Career Training Institute, and then wraparound services through the Christopher A. Pew Center. So with that, we still have to be able to create even collaborative employment partnerships. So there's a business engagement piece in this, and we have 2 employers that have committed thus far to provide work experience and job placement opportunities in the transportation logistics industry. But in addition, as far as programming and support, we're going to continue to form more partnerships with community-based organizations such as Dress for Success, but also our K through 12 space and other post-secondary institutions. But through this particular project, we're going to focus on career exploration. So there'll be opportunities for the young people to be able to receive paid work experiences in the transportation industry, but also trauma-informed care, which is very important with this population because they've been just as involved in financial literacy. But also, too, we want to align our work-based learning opportunities where we're partnering with employers with credentialing opportunities. So with the Olympic Career Training Institute, we'll be able to connect them to warehouse, warehousing and transportation certifications and certificates, which also includes a forklift and OSHA certification for those young people. But also too, before they go into that training, we'll package that with virtual reality. We're partnering with Transfer VR to provide virtual reality simulation through that industry and other industries as well, as we want you to be able to explore various industries that they may be interested in. But how will we measure this? So we do know we have to be able to measure our success. So our goal is 30 low and middle income workers will be placed in very well-paying jobs that provide opportunities for upward mobility. Also, 4 employer commitments to change recruiting, hiring, and training practices to provide more opportunities for low and middle income workers will be secured. We've secured 2 already with employers who would normally hire individuals that are just as involved. But 50 just as involved youth exposed to the 4 priority sectors in Greater Memphis that we spoke about earlier through job shadowing and paid work experiences. And then 15 youth permanently placed in employment opportunities at an equitable wage. And then finally, 50% of just as involved youth participating in youth programming will receive some type of wraparound support, which is why we're bringing those other partners in. And finally, I just want to leave you all with this. These strategies will help us to improve employment outcomes for justice impacted youth, strengthen communities by reducing recidivism, and increase the capacity of justice and workforce system partnerships. Thank you for your time on this evening.